Day 35. Leviticus 11-13. Leviticus chapter 11. The distinction of clean and unclean animals. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, Say to the children of Israel, These are the animals which you are to eat of all the living things of the earth, animals which you are to eat, etc. The prohibition of so many kinds of beasts, birds, and fishes, and the law was ordered, first, to exercise the people in obedience and temperance, secondly, to restrain them from the vices of which these animals were symbols, thirdly, because the things here forbidden were for the most part unwholesome and not proper to be eaten, fourthly, that the people of God, by being obliged to abstain from things corporally unclean, might be trained up to seek a spiritual cleanness. Whatsoever hath the hoof divided, and sheweth the cud among the beasts, is right. Hoof divided, and showeth the cud. The dividing of the hoof and chewing of the cud signify discretion between good and evil, and meditating on the law of God, and where either of these is wanting in medits and queen. Hen-like men of fishes were repeated, unclean that had not fins and scales, that is, souls that did not raise themselves up by prayer and cover themselves with the scales of virtue. But whatsoever cheweth indeed the cud, and hath a hoof, but divideth it not, as the camel and others, that they shall not eat, but shall reckon it among the unclean. The cherub rose which cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof, is unclean. The cherubites. Some suppose it to be the rabbit, others the hedgehog. St. Jerome intimates that it is another kind of animal common in Palestine, which lives in the holes of rocks Harnerith, which use here is also in the names of several other creatures that follow, which are little known in this part of the world, to keep the Greek or Latin names. The hare also, for that who cheweth the cud, but divideth not the hoof. And the swine, which, though it divideth the hoof, cheweth not the cud. The flesh of these you shall not eat, nor shall you touch their carcasses, because they are unclean to you. These are the things that breed in the waters, and which it is lawful to eat. All that hath fins and scales, as well in the sea as in the rivers and the pools, he shall eat. But whatsoever hath not fins and scales, of those things that move and live in the waters, shall be an abomination to you, and detestable. Their flesh you shall not eat, and their carcasses you shall avoid. All that have not fins and scales in the waters shall be unclean. Of birds these are they which you must not eat, and which are to be avoided by you, the eagle, and the griffin, and the osprey. The griffin, not the monster which the painter represent, which hath no being upon earth, but a bird of the eagle kind, larger than the common. And the kind, and the vulture, according to their kind. And all that is of the raven kind, according to their likeness. The ostrich, and the owl, and the larse, and the hawk according to its kind, the screech owl, and the cormorant, and the ibis, and the swan, and the bittern, and the porphyrion, the heron, and the cherry-tern according to its kind, the hoop also, and the bat. Of things that fly, whatsoever goeth upon 4 feet shall be abominable to you. But whatsoever walketh upon 4 feet, but hath the legs behind longer, wherewith it happeth upon the earth, that these shall eat, as the brutes in its kind, they attack us, and often match us, and the locust, every one according to their kind. But of flying things whatsoever have 4 feet only, shall be an abomination to you. And whosoever shall touch the carcasses of them shall be defiled, and shall be unclean until the evening, and if it be necessary that he carry any of these things when they are dead, he shall wash his clothes, and shall be unclean until the sunset. Every beast that hath a hoof, but divideth it not, nor cheweth the cud, shall be unclean, and he that toucheth it shall be defiled. That which walketh upon hands of all animals which go on all 4 shall be unclean. He that shall touch their carcasses shall be defiled until evening. And he that shall carry such coxes shall wash his clothes, and shall be unclean until evening, because all these things are unclean to you. These also shall be reckoned among unclean things, of all that move upon the earth. The weasel, and the mouse, and the crocodile, every one according to their kind, the shrew, and the chameleon, and the stelio, and the lizard, and the mole. All these are unclean. He that toucheth the carcasses shall be unclean until the evening. And upon what things soever any of the carcasses shall fall, it shall be defiled, whether it be a vessel of wood, or a garment, or skins, or haircloths, or anything in which work is done. They shall be dipped in water, and shall be unclean until the evening, and so afterward shall be clean. But a northern vessel, into which any of these shall fall, shall be defiled, and therefore is to be broken. Any meat which you eat, if water from such a vessel be poured upon it, shall be unclean, and every liquid is struck out of any such vessel shall be unclean. And upon soever thing any of these dead beasts shall fall, it shall be unclean. Whether it be oven, or pots with feet, they shall be destroyed, and shall be unclean. But fountains and cisterns, and all gatherings together of water shall be clean. He that toucheth their carcasses shall be defiled. If it fall upon seed corn, it shall not defile it. But if any man pour water upon the seed, and afterwards it be touched by the carcasses, it shall be forthwith defiled. If any be sty, of which it is lawful for you to eat, he that toucheth the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the evening. And he that eateth or carrieth anything thereof shall wash his clothes, and shall be unclean until the evening. All that creepeth upon the earth shall be abominable, neither shall it be taken for meat. All that goeth upon the breast on 4 feet, or have many feet, or traileth on the earth, you shall not eat, because it is abominable. Do not defile your souls, nor touch on the earth, lest you be unclean. For I am the Lord your God. Ye holler because I am holy. Defile not your souls by any creeping thing that moveth upon the earth. For I am the Lord, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that I might be your God. You shall be holy, because I am holy. This is the law of beasts and fowls, and of every living creature that moveth in the waters, and creepeth on the earth, that you may know the differences of the clean and unclean, and know what you ought to eat, and what to refuse. Leviticus chapter 12. The purification of women after childbirth. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and thou shalt say to them, If a woman having received seed shall bear a man-child, she shall be unclean 7 days, according to the days of separation of her flowers. And on the 8th day the infant shall be circumcised, but she shall remain 33 days in the blood of her purification. She shall touch no holy thing, neither shall she enter into the sanctuary until the days of her purification be fulfilled. But if she shall bear a May-child, she shall be unclean 2 weeks, according to the custom of her monthly courses. And she shall remain the blood of her purification 66 days. And when the days of her purification are expired, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring to the door of the tabernacle of the testimony a lamb of a year old for a holocaust, and a young pigeon or a turtle for sin, and shall deliver them to the priest, who shall offer them before the Lord, and shall pray for her, and so she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the law for her that beareth a man-child or a May-child. And if her hand find not sufficiency, and she is not able to offer a lamb, she shall take 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, one for a holocaust, and another for sin, and the priest shall pray for her, and so she shall be cleansed. Leviticus chapter 13. The law concerning leprosy in men and garments. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, The man in whose skin or flesh shall arise a different color or a blister, or as it was something shining, that is the stroke of the leprosy, shall be brought to Aaron the priest, or of his sons. And if he see the leprosy in his skin, and the hair turned white, and the place where the leprosy appears lower than the skin and the rest of the flesh, it is the stroke of the leprosy, and upon his judgment he shall be separated. But if there be a shining whiteness in the skin, and not lower than the other flesh, and the hair be of the former color, the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the 7th day he shall look on him, and if the leprosy be grown no farther, and hath not spread itself in the skin, he shall shut him up another 7 days. And in the 7th day he shall look on him. If the leprosy be somewhat obscure, and not spread in the skin, he shall declare him clean, because it is but a scab, and the man shall wash his clothes, and shall be clean. But if the leprosy grow again, after he was seen by the priest and restored to cleanness, he shall be brought to him, and shall be condemned of uncleanness. If the stroke of the leprosy be in a man, he shall be brought to the priest, and he shall view him. And when there shall be a white color in the skin, and it shall have changed the look of the hair, and the living flesh of shall be judged in a literary leprosy, and grown into the skin. The priest therefore shall declare him unclean, and shall not shut him up, because he is evidently unclean. But if the leprosy spring out running about in the skin, and cover all the skin from the head to the feet, whatsoever falleth under the side of the eyes, the priest shall view him, and shall judge that the leprosy which he has is very clean, because it is all turned into whiteness, and therefore the man shall be clean. But when the live flesh shall appear in him, then by the judgment of the priest he shall be defiled, and shall be reckoned among the unclean. For live flesh, if it be defiled with leprosy, is unclean. And if again it be turned into whiteness, and cover all the man, the priest shall view him, and shall judge him to be clean. When also there has been an ulcer in the flesh and the skin, and it has been healed, and in the place of that ulcer there appeareth a white scar, or somewhat red, the man shall be brought to the priest. And when he shall see the place of the leprosy lower than the other flesh, and the head turned white, he shall declare him unclean, for the plague of leprosy is broken out in the ulcer. But if the hair be of the former color, and the scar somewhat obscure, and be not lower in the flesh that is near it, he shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread, he shall judge him to have the leprosy, but if it stay in its place, it is but the scar of an ulcer, and the man shall be clean. The flesh also and skin that hath been burned, and after it is healed hath a white or a red scar, the priest shall view it. And if he see it turned white, and the place thereof is lower than the other skin, he shall declare him unclean, because the evil of leprosy is broken out in the scar. But if the color of the hair be not changed, nor the blemish lower than the other flesh, and the appearance of the leprosy be somewhat obscure, he shall shut in that 7 days, and on the 7th day he shall view him. If the leprosy be grown farther in the skin, he shall declare him unclean. But if the whiteness stay in its place, and be not very clear, it is the sore of a burning, and therefore he shall be cleansed, because it is only the scar of a burning. If the leprosy break out in the head or the beard of a man or a woman, the priest shall see them, and if the place be lower than the other flesh, and the hair yellow, and then unusual, he shall declare them unclean, because that is the leprosy of the hair and the beard. But if he perceive the place of the spot is equal with the flesh as near it, and the hair black, he shall shut him up 7 days, and on the 7th day he shall look upon it. If the spot be not grown, and the hair keep its color, and the place of the blemish be even with the other flesh, the man shall be shaven all but the place of the spot, and he shall be shut up other 7 days. If on the 7th day the evil seem to have stayed in its place, and not lower than the other flesh, he shall cleanse him, and his clothes being washed he shall be clean. But if after he has cleansed him and his spot spread again in the skin, he shall seek no more whether the hair be turned yellow, because he is evidently unclean. But if the spot be stayed, and the hair be black, let him know that the man is healed, and let him confidently pronounce him clean. If a whiteness appear in the skin of a man or a woman, the priest shall view them. If he find that a darkish whiteness shineth in the skin, let him know that it is not the leprosy, but a white blemish, and that the man is clean. The man whose hair falleth off from his head, he is bald and clean, and if the hair fall from his forehead, he is bald before and clean. But if in the bald head or in the bald forehead there be risen a white or reddish color, and the priest perceive this, he shall condemn him undoubtedly of leprosy which is risen in the bald part. Now whosoever shall be defiled with the leprosy, and is separated by the judgment of the priest, shall have his clothes hanged loose, his head bare, his mouth covered with a cloth, and he shall cry out that he is defiled and unclean. All the time that he is a leper and unclean he shall dwell alone without a kind. I will learn all linen garment that shall have the leprosy in a warp, and a woof, or skin, or whatsoever is made of a skin. If it be infected with a white or red spot, it shall be accounted the leprosy, and shall be shown to the priest. And he shall look upon it, and shall shut it up 7 days. And on the 7th day, when he looketh on it again, if he find that it is grown, it is a fixed leprosy. He shall judge the garment and clean, and everything wherein it shall be found. And therefore it shall be burned with fire. But if he see that it is not grown, it shall be voidless, and they shall wash the part wherein the leprosy is, and he shall shut it up 7 days. And when he shall see that the former color is not returned, nor yet the leprosy spread, he shall judge it unclean, and shall burn it with fire, for the leprosy has taken hold of the outside of the garment, or through the hole. But if the place of the leprosy be somewhat dark, after the garment is washed, he shall tear it off, and divide it from that which is sound. And if after this there appear in those places that before were without spot a flying and wandering leprosy, it must be burned with fire. If it cease, he shall wash with water pots that appear the 2nd time, and they shall be clean. This is the law touching the leprosy of any woolen or linen garment, either in the warp or woof, or anything of skins, how it ought to be cleansed, or pronounced unclean.